All right. Welcome. It's live. So, hello. My name is Julie Anderson, and there's nobody on right now, and that's okay. I'm not going to say, oh, the first person on, Sisnik. I'm sorry, I can't really see the names because the sun is shining in, but I'm going to be talking about leaving your multi-level marketing company. I know that MLM can stand for other things as well, but that's what I'm going to be talking about is leaving your multi-level marketing company. So if you're scrolling through, you're like, this isn't what I'm interested in, that's totally cool. That's what I'm going to talk about. So what I want you to know is that how you leave your network marketing company or multi-level marketing company is going to be totally fine. It's up to you how this rolls out. So there's a lot of hurt feelings and you can feel a lot of shame and guilt, and that's by design. So hello, Mindset Mama. Hello, how are you? I'm just going to be calling people by their handles. So I don't want to give away your identity unless, we want that. So I want to just make it clear that it's your choice. I'm certainly not an expert on this. I left my multi-level marketing company for real 4 months ago. And these are just some of the things I wish I had known and some of the things I've experienced and how I've been helping other people leave their multi-level marketing companies. Hello, my music spot. How are you? Great creator right here if you want to follow someone. Quality content creator. My music spot, that's someone that you should definitely follow. So just saying that, some people, they choose to leave their network marketing company and they want to still buy products. That's totally fine. There's no hard and fast rules here. What I found for me and what a lot of us seem to find, though, is as we learn more and more, we want to cut all ties. Thank you to Sinister. Hello, Cool Dad. Cool Dad too. We just want to cut all ties, and it's just like this physical repulsion. I don't want anything to do with multi-level marketing. 4 months ago, I was still I still like this makeup that I buy from this other one. Maybe, I'll still continue to do that. But as the time is gone and as my awareness has grown, I can't do it. But whatever it looks like for you is totally cool. So I just want to make sure that that's put out there. So the process can take a long time for different people. And and so I'm going to get into exact strategies as well, but I think it's really important to set up the framework of what you might experiencing, because it's really important to hear stories of people who have gone through similar things, just so you know that you're not alone, because you will feel isolated, you will feel alone, and you will feel like you're going crazy. You will feel that there's something wrong with your mindset, and you might be told all these things as well. So my process took me about 1.5 years. And I was aware of contradictions from the beginning of being in network marketing. I was only in one company, it was with Mon8, and I also joined a network marketing coaching group. There's a lot of these coaching groups around, which I'm going to be speaking more and more about, because in my opinion, they're even more predatory and toxic and manipulative than the multi-level marketing companies themselves. So for me, my process started about March 2020. Because I lost my job and I could no longer afford the network marketing coaching I was paying $800 a month US for. And when I said, I can't afford this coaching anymore, I need to leave these groups, this is another, so I want to set this up for you, because you will probably experience this as well. Whatever you leave, it's the same as leaving your network marketing company, same as when I was leaving Mon8. When you tell them that you're leaving, they're going to try to do anything they can to get you to stay. So in my case with this particular group, it was, there's a cheaper option. It's only $129 a month. I was like, what? I had no idea this option ever existed until I was going to leave. And I said no again. And then I think it went down again. I think it was $29 a month. And I thought, oh, okay. And this is really important. So I was so ingratiating. I don't know. It was really gross. I was aware of my reaction. I'm like, oh, thank you so much, because one of the coaches had called me, and so I'm on the phone. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Oh, I'm so grateful that I can still be a part of this amazing group. And I felt after I hung up the phone, I'm like, why am I acting like this? This is gross. They should be, that awareness, they don't need me. They need me, I don't need them. Why am I so prostrating myself at this altar of paying $29 for this group? So I kind of I said, no, I'm getting out of this group altogether. It was once I got out of that group, that helped to accelerate me leaving Mon8. So some people, they leave their network marketing companies, that's it. For me, my facilitation was because of being in this network marketing coaching group. But it took me a year and a half to get to that point. So that already happened at the beginning of the pandemic. And then just more and more. I was still unable to read anti-MLM content or watch it. I had blocked a lot of creators because I was taught they were haters. And I was taught that, and I believed that they were haters, and I felt that they were haters. I would see somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so mean. I wasn't able at that time to just actually think and to see what was going on and to take in other information. It's the strangest sensation when you want to learn information and there's like a brick wall in front of your face. It's in your mind, and you have to actively work to dismantle it in order to hear another perspective. So the process can take a long time. It might not happen overnight, and it might just stack up. I know I've had people say, well, what was the last straw for you? There was not a last straw. It was a growing awareness and a growing like disillusionment. So I want the other part before of like saying, okay, do these things quietly is like, and doing specific strategies it's really crucial to know what to expect, because there is going to be pushback. I would be surprised if there isn't. Pretty much everybody receives some kind of like negative pushback from their friends, from their lifelong friends, from their community of like-minded people. And it can range, it can be like really awful and almost be like doxing and harassment. You can lose friendships over this just because you're leaving. So I want to kind of prepare you, just kind of knowing what to possibly expect when it happens. It doesn't like knock you down so much. It's still a lot to process, but please reach out to the anti-MLM community. There are so many anti-MLM creators, and there's more and more every day. People just are saying, I need to speak out. And you don't have to. No, you don't ever have to if you don't want to. That's okay too. But please reach out to someone in the anti-MLM community. I can't tell you, like, I've got messages. I can tell you. I can't tell you how many messages I've received where just someone saying, like, am I crazy? Like, is this normal? Did this happen to you? I want to leave Monat, but I feel really trapped by pushing out my VIP flagship orders that I've been doing for the last 3 years. And I feel like I should just pay for their, $24.95 to cancel it. I'm thinking, holy crap, I felt the same way. But I felt the exact same way. That was one of the things that was keeping me in. Just by reaching out to another, like an anti-MLM creator, and just like a lot of us, we're here for you. Just ask a question, make your own decisions, but it's important to know that you're not alone, that the feelings of being alone and isolated, that it's made that way. So people don't speak out, and they'll like load shame on you. If you're going to leave, just leave. Don't you dare say anything. You're a terrible, negative, like hateful person otherwise. I'm going to keep saying this next part over and over again, because it's really important to remember this. It's going to like help you as you start healing and moving on from being in an MLM. And all this is just like my 2 cents. If it doesn't relate to you, that's totally okay. I just want to like add my voice, my experiences, and just maybe, help some people out. So cult behavior is predictable. You're going to see this again and again. You're going to hear me say it again and again. Your upline, for example, will probably try to get you to stay another month or another 3 months, or just stay, just be active this month so they can rank up, or just give it a go. There's going to be all kinds of like manufactured reasons probably to get you to stay. If you keep firm, be prepared for a personal attack or the condescension or some obnoxious remark about how, whatever, they attack your character. It's like clockwork, and it can be pretty vicious. I lost a friend over 15 years over this. We had been talking about back and forth about Monat and how disgusting some of their practices were, and well, all of them. I mean, all of it's so brutal. I remember I even like posting in a team group, and my comment was considered too negative. I'm like asking for factual information, and then it was deleted. I didn't know that this is ubiquitous across the multi-level marketing industry, across all the companies. It's all masked with like, oh, it's all positive. But I had been talking with my friend and upline about this for some time. And when I made the decision to leave, she went completely 180 degrees. And she said, my experience overall has been incredibly positive with Monat. She completely lied. But she's deep in the cult. And I was like, wow. And she said a lot of horrible things to me, and I ended up like, I've cut her out of my life, which is really unfortunate. But MLMs destroy relationships. I lost a friend because of multi-level marketing. And this might happen to you too. And you might think it's not. Our friendship is so solid. You'll see. So just be prepared. It's kind of like, my stomach is getting in knots just thinking about this again. And it might not happen to you, but just be prepared. Especially maybe if you start questioning things. What happens sometimes is somebody else will reach out to you, and they'll ask you like, oh, I saw that you asked this, so I'm kind of having doubts too. And that can really help. I have this pen I just dropped. And just talking with them about it. If you don't have the courage to reach out to an anti-MLM creator yet, I recommend getting Robert Fitzpatrick's Ponzi-nomics book, and also Steven Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control, and start watching some anti-MLM content. And that's before, that's kind of like the mindset work. So, in network marketing, we're always like mindset and personal development. This would be what I would recommend. And I wish that I had done I kind of did it, but if I had have known, it's like, okay, it would have prepared me more. And when I was reading, I'm going to just say it again slowly, because I know it's just like, what are the name of those books, right? Robert Fitzpatrick's Ponzi-nomics and Steven Hassan's Combating Cult Mind Control. I'm just going to read a couple comments here because this is good. Jennifer says, you're encouraged to surround yourself with like-minded people, which means those in the cult, yes. And Tamari says, are their products good? I actually see Monate. I don't sell it, though. They were good for me for a time. And then they didn't work the last year. And I had a horrible reaction, in my opinion, allegedly so this happened, with their sleep drops. And I spoke about this on a podcast interview with Aaron, I don't know if I mentioned it with Aaron Beast Mode, but I did go into detail about it with Danielle Bolster from Huns to Humans. So if you wanted to hear that story, you can. It was with the sleep drops. That was like, it was so bad, allegedly, in my opinion. Don't take them. Don't buy those things. Okay, so I'd recommend getting that. Start watching some anti-MLM content. And as you're starting to watch this content, or maybe you're on anti-MLM reading it, or anti-MLM Reddit and reading this stuff, you might find, this is what I found, is that some people, I'm like, they're so harsh. They are mean. But I had this weird contradiction because my mind I'm starting to critically think again. And I remember thinking, why is it that I feel they need to change their behavior in order to suit me? I didn't like that. And at the same time, I had dual minds going on. Was they're haters. I can't believe how awful they were. It was this, I don't know, it felt like my cult identity and my identity, they're jostling to be seen and heard. And I didn't know what was going on. And I was as I kept learning more and I was able to watch more content, I was thinking, well, I shouldn't be taking myself so seriously. And I could see, well, a lot of people in network marketing treat people like absolute trash. I'd seen it. I had been the recipient of it. Why is it that it's no, you must be held to this high standard in order to speak out against this? And so there's all these things going on in my head, and that you might experience that too as you start consuming different anti-MLM content. There's so many different creators out there, and a lot of us are working through our issues. And I know for me, it's creative output. So there's stuff I'm mad, I am hurt. I don't care about hurting somebody's feelings because I'm so raw and broken. And I have been given bled of tens of thousands of dollars. So my content, and it isn't going to be all, oh, it's so compassionate and loving. No, I'm going to be expressing what I've gone through the same way as a lot of creators just create content anyway about the things that they've gone through. And I was kind of aware of that as I was consuming content. I hope this is kind of helping you a bit. Okay, now the strategies. So the first thing that I think is really helpful for anybody to do is to do as much in the shadows as possible, just as quietly as possible. So what this means for you, you get to decide. There's no hard and fast rule. However you want to make this go is completely up to you. Tamari says, I'm worried now I'm in a direct sales company for over a year and haven't experienced any of this. That's, you know what? Good for you for being on this live. It's really important that you continue to take in different perspectives. And that's fantastic that you haven't experienced any of that. But I'll tell you the one thing that you are experiencing is the deception that you're in direct sales. Because if you look up the actual factual definition of direct sales, it's not network marketing. It's like you're going door to door. If there's any kind of recruitment, it's not direct sales. And so that's why I recommend if you want like the real information, do real research, not just taking information from the company saying, oh, this is all good. The Direct Selling Association is over 90% network marketing. I think it's even more than that. They've appropriated the name to make themselves more legitimate. And you can find out more about that in like the history of this if you get Robert Fitzpatrick's Ponzinomics book. So, you know, I just want to give you like a shout out for even consuming anti-MLM content, because when you do, you can put a target on your back. You start finding stuff out right away. Okay, so I'd say do as much in the shadows as much as possible. So this could be like you go into your back office and you just get your customers' emails. Or you start just quietly, maybe, you know, you're not posting as much anymore. Or you just don't like, you know, you do your team call, or you just remove yourself from one of the bazillion groups. With Mon8, they had so many groups. There was like, and then we were encouraged to make groups. So when I first signed up, I was added to my uplines group. And then there was my uplines group. And it went up like that all the way to like the mothership of the first one, Tony Van Schoik, her group, right? So there's all these groups. So you're always getting notifications all the time. Then Mon8 Market Partner Official, there Mon8, what was it, like Poland, there was Mon8 Ireland. I was like, all these groups. So you can see how your world just shrinks by being surrounded with just this information from just this. Plus though, I was also in that network marketing coaching group. And there was groups on groups and groups on top of that too. And challenges and courses that I was taking. So it was just so much. So I started, that might be something, just start removing yourself from different groups. And then I would still say like do as much quietly as possible, because depending on your upline, depending on how much, I mean, it just depends on, it doesn't even mean about influence. It's just kind of like disobedience and dissent. When you're leaving, it can just like, you get cut out, knife hand, right? So before you say anything to anyone, I would just kind of get as much of your poop in a group as you can. And you might like, I don't even know, my head is all mixed up. I'm seeing these things happen. I don't like what I've seen happen with this company, but I really, really love this product. I've had like amazing benefits from it. I'm just really confused. You know, you don't need to have all the answers sorted out. There's no right way to go about this. But doing things quietly, getting little emails, doing that before you kind of start letting people know I think it's advisable. So then I would like contact customers, maybe that you are constantly pushing out their flagship orders if you're with Mon8, or if you were with somebody else. Maybe you always just took care of their account, which you're not supposed to do and log in on their behalf, but we all do it. And I would so for me, that was one of the things that kept me in Mon8. Was I thought, I've been pushing out these VIP flagship orders for, it was almost 4 years, some of these people. And it just, every day I'd go in, and then it would be Friday, there'd be a flash sale. I'm like, and my stomach would just be like, not again, right? So what I did is I thought I'll make it easy for them. And I just made a short blurb, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm not going to be with Mon8 anymore. Thank you so much for, you know, supporting me or whatever. And here's your customer ID number, and here's customer service. And you can just phone and cancel your order or not. And for me, it was a big hurdle, because I wanted to just like, you know what? I'm just going to pay everybody's cancellation fee because I just want to get out. But I've spoken with enough Mon8 reps, ex-Mon8 market partners, that they felt the same way. So I'm thinking this is another one of those strategies that they like get you to stay in there. And then you do not have to contact your upline. You do not owe anybody an explanation. I just want to make that clear. Now, a lot of people are like, well, you know, I owe it to her. Oh, it's the right thing to do. Just keep in mind that when you say you're going to leave, like 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to get you to stay. And then if you stay, no, they're probably going to attack your character, and they'll probably make a passive aggressive post about you at least once, at least one piece of content. You might have an upline that's fantastic, and that's great, and I hope it doesn't happen. But like for the large majority of people, cult behavior is predictable. It's not personal, although it's really hard not to take it personally, but people are in it, and it's not their identity, right? then you could like make an announcement in your groups. I had a team group and then I also had a customer group. So I made an announcement in my team group first. And I said, if you have any questions, you want more information, like you can reach out to me. I will talk to you. But I gave like a couple of examples of why I wasn't going to be with Mon8 anymore. And I was not going to be speaking out. I was not going to be like anti-MLM. I was not going to, that is not how this started out. I originally thought I'm going to let my market partner status lapse in May. I think it would have been like May 17th actually, coming up. But the more I learned, the more I'm like, I had to get the fuck out. So I made an announcement in the team group, and I did have a couple of market partners reach out to me, and I told them honestly, and they ended up leaving right away as well. And we were sharing other experiences. We're like, oh my gosh, that happened to you too. No way. It was just, that was really good. And then I said to everybody as well, if you want to stay, that's totally cool. That's your decision. And then I made an announcement in my customer group. It was called Holy Hair. Holy Hair! It was so dumb. Like the names of the team groups. And I made an announcement and I said, I'm no longer going to be, I didn't go into great detail. I just said, I'm no longer going to be doing this. Thank you for your support over the years, blah. Now, I originally was going to let that group just stand, but one of my market partners was still in it. And she's still in it, as far as I know. And she started to post in that group, and she's still like tagging people. And I'm like, there's no way I can let that happen, because there's going to be like using my content to recruit people. And I'm like, so I removed everybody from the group, and then I deleted the group, especially after my alleged, in my opinion, horrible experience with the Mon8 sleep drops. I'm like, there's no way. I never want anybody to come into contact with this product. After I personally messaged the customers, it was really funny because I had been putting it off for so long. It was something I really dreaded, and I felt so good, and everybody was really understanding. I was like, wow. I did have a couple of customers send me a message and say like, oh, why? And I said, because it's a cult. I just realized I'm in a commercial cult and I need to get out. And everybody that like contacted me or I spoke with was really understanding and really supportive. And that was kind of a shock. It had never been said explicitly that when you leave, that everybody is just like so angry and you're such a fool and all this. I was like, I couldn't believe like the positive stuff happening, the positive feedback I was getting. I was feeling like I'm like entering into the real world again. I had a business page on Facebook, and I started like deleting some videos, and then I just ended up deleting the whole page. You get to decide what you do. You don't have to do this. You know, this is just some ideas that I did, and kind of like how I was like kind of moving quietly at first, deleting videos and stuff, removing myself from groups, and then I kind of I'm like, okay, this is why I'm leaving, to my team first, and then to my customers, and then I was like contacting certain customers that I'd been pushing out their orders for. No is a complete sentence, and you only have to say it once. So I just recently helped another Mon8 market partner out, and sure shooting, just like it always does. She's like, I'm telling you, like I told my upline, you know, I'm just going to be leaving, and the upline tried to get her to stay. And tried to get her to stay, and tried to get her to stay because she needs to rank up to qualify for her Cadillac. If she doesn't, so if this market partner leaves and isn't active for one more month, she's going to lose her rank. She's going to lose her status. And she kept saying no, and she's being really nice. She sent me screenshots of the conversation. And right away, then the woman makes this. So she does some like kind of condescension, like talking, like attacking her character. Well, I hope you feel more positive soon or whatever. And then she made this passive aggressive post on Facebook. It was clearly about the market partner that just left. Nobody runs a business this way, but this is cult behavior is predictable. Be firm in your boundaries. And the more, you know, when you decide to leave, it's not up to anybody else to tell you how to leave, especially your upline, especially the company. There's a lot of pressure, and just you do it your way. And when you decide, you know, you do not want to talk to anybody, you don't have to read their messages. You don't have to be friends with people. I know before I actually left both groups, like the network marketing coaching group and then Mon8, I deleted like, I don't know, it was like 400 friends. I don't know, they weren't even friends. They were fellow network marketers, and we were just using each other. We just would hope that maybe their audience would see my live video, and maybe I could recruit them or sell them some shampoo. And they did the same thing to me, and I realized this is just ridiculous. These are transactional relationships. I don't want these people. These are my friends. I don't even know them, and I really don't care. And they don't care about me. But I don't care about them either, you know? This is just coming like face to face with stuff. Okay, so yeah, some people just let their status lapse and they just fade away and they never do anything, and that's totally fine too. Awarenesses of what you've been a part of and how you've been deceived will keep unfolding for you. And it doesn't really matter how many customers you have or how big your team is. But I do see people that have larger teams and that have had a lot of influence. I believe a mental health crisis is coming, because I know for me, how I felt like 4 months later now, just realizing like, oh my God, these people have come in. I have endorsed taking coaching. I have endorsed coming into network marketing, and people have lost thousands and thousands of dollars because of me. And knowing that that role, I'm like that. I really feel for people who are at the top of the pyramid and they start to have that awareness, because that awareness, like for me anyway, was 4 months ago, it was pretty powerful. But now, as it's like I'm becoming more and more myself, I guess, or integrating or whatever the hell's going on, it's worse. It's scary. So just know that those awarenesses are going to keep happening, and it's okay to cry. You're not alone. Reach out to an anti-MLM creator. You might have an MLM exit buddy. I know I've been fortunate to have that. Start having conversations with people and helping them prepare an exit strategy. And so that can help you heal as well. And also Danielle Bolster now from Huns to Humans says that she now recommends to everyone to get a therapist. And I just recently started to see a psychologist. So I had my first session, GenX finally goes sees a psychologist, right? It's the right thing to do. This is another thing that you might see as you're starting to exit your multi-level marketing company, and you think, okay, well, I'm going to just let it lapse, but then you start learning more and more information. There seems to be an acceleration that happens because the facade starts to crumble. You start waking up from the matrix, and it accelerates things. Like all of a sudden it's like, you see contradiction after contradiction. You remember different conversations. You see somebody make a post and you're like, oh, that's so gross. I can see right through that. Why do people act like this? Oh my gosh, I acted like this. It happens, and it's like dominoes, just boom, boom, boom. And that's what seems to happen with a lot of people. That's why they send in their resignation letter, but instead of just letting their status lapse or their distributor status lapse, whatever company you're with. So keep in mind, if you do decide to send a resignation letter or an email in, they're going to make it difficult and they're going to try to get you to stay. So for me, with Mon8, me and one of my market partners, we had two different experiences leaving Mon8. I sent a letter in to customer service. They're like, oh, they send an email back. They say there's a special department, special email that you need to send this in, and you have to say this, this, and this. They spell it out for you. So I sent another email, sent it in. Now, I think it took them about a month before they released me. The language was so culty. It's like, I'm out of this company. What in the hell is this? Other jobs, like in the real world, like in corporate America, they say it's always corporate America. It's never like corporate Netherlands, right? It's always corporate America. But no other job is like that. Like and you're supposed to be your own business owner. So one of her emails that she got back from Mon8 said, this is going to take a little bit longer because you're not only leaving a company, you're leaving the Mon8 family. She sent me a screenshot of it, and I was like, what in the hell is that? Who is the Mon8 family? That there's not like Mr. and Mrs. Mon8 and Dad, it's just, it was messed up then when we experienced it, and it's messed up now, even as I'm telling you. So they make it jumping through hoops. The condescending tone, you'll be able to see. Once you start to leave, you're going to see it. And knowing that it's coming, I find it helped prepare me, and that's what I kind of want to help prepare you as well. Just keep remembering cult behavior is predictable. If you choose to speak out, so this is pretty much, that's it. Do stuff in the shadows, contact your customers, reach out to some anti-MLM creators if you need support, and send the letter in to your company, or just let it lapse. I did not think I was going to speak out. I didn't. And you don't have to. You can just never speak of it again. That's totally fine. The choice is yours. If you do try to speak out, I was feeling terrified at first. I thought, oh my goodness, well, what's going to happen? And you know, the weirdest thing is that speaking out, the biggest fear is from people that are still within multi-level marketing. In an industry that is supposed to be the pinnacle of personal development and positivity, no other group of people speaks more about hate and haters than multi-level marketing and people within multi-level marketing. The love, the acceptance, the community on the other side of this from people not in multi-level marketing, even if they, you know, aren't anti-MLM, they just don't buy multi-level marketing stuff. I guess they're anti-MLM. Have been so gracious, so kind, no judgment. I'm like, this is what it's about. So when I did start speaking out, I have had some people, and you can see it in my anti-MLM content. I have a tab, like I've got 3 categories of content, like there's GenX stuff, anti-MLM content stuff, and then there's GenX recharge zone. The anti-MLM content stuff, you'll see I've had some replies from people. I did video replies to people that are still in it. I hope they get out one day. I have to believe it, like Steven Hassan talks about, that we all want to be free and that we all want to keep learning and growing. And it's challenging to respond to certain people. You don't have to respond to anybody, but I chose to respond to a couple people because I know them. And I knew exactly what they're doing. And I'm calling out the gaslighting, and I'm calling out the cult behavior, and I'm calling out the tactics, calling out the behavior, but not attacking the person. But I know that when you're in network marketing, because I was the same way, when you speak out, any criticism of behavior or the business model is taken as a personal attack. And that is how you hear it. And it takes some time to chip that away. But it's important about me setting boundaries as well. So if you know, you can go through that. I got a lot of content on there, but you could just like zip through the playlist and just see where there's video replies, and you can just see, you know, what I attempted to do. It's certainly not perfect, but it is what it is. I had anti-MLM content too. As I started to create it, I realized I had blocked like a lot of anti-MLM creators. Because they were haters. They were so bad. Oh, how can people be so mean? And as I started, like the illusion started to dissipate, I'm like, they're actually really funny. And I'd unblock them, and then I had to follow them. I'm like, it's funny. It's funny how that works. And okay, this was another thing I wanted to like touch on is it's called cult phobia, and I've learned this from Steven Hassan. And it's the fear of what can happen when you leave the group. Now, when I had this conversation with my upline, she said adamantly, like when it was clear that I was leaving Mon8, she was like, there's still a way that you can do this ethically, and it is okay. And there is no other way I can make money as a stay-at-home mom. That was her words. And I had already been reading this information, Combating Cult Mind Control. And I'm like, that's a cult phobia. Like, there's lots of other things you can do. Network marketing is not the only solution, but when you're in it, that is what you believe. There is only one way. My products are the best products. I have never felt so good as when I've been taking this supplement, used this skincare, applied this powder, did this tanning lotion, brushed my teeth, whatever it is, it's the best. And it even happens on the periphery, like with VIP customers and the odd retail customer. The real customers are the distributors. That's the bulk. The illusion of having an auto ship and retail customers is just to like tick those boxes, to mask another way of masking the fact that it's a closed system, and it's the distributors, the reps, the market partners, whatever it is, are the bulk of the customers, and the money just keeps rolling up. Cult phobia I experienced was a weird one. It was like a subtle one, but I thought there was no other shampoo that could work for my hair. And I realize how this sounds now. And I had said this to my stepson, and he said, you sound like an addict. And I said, I know, but I still believed it. I'm like, where do I even go? How ridiculous is it? And I've had this conversation with other people, and I've seen it in the comment section of some of my anti-MLM content. People are like, but I really love the shampoo. I don't even know where else to look. Like, you are like completely cut off your brain. Like, you just couldn't possibly go and ask a hairstylist what other shampoo could work. It's like we tell this whole narrative in our heads that it was so taxing just trying to find a product. And I finally found one that kind of worked. It's all a lie. I mean, it is not a big deal just to buy a different shampoo and put it on your hair and it works, you know. But it took me a while to get to that place. And one of my VIP customers felt the same way. So she said she felt like she was cheating on Monat. She said, I can't even believe it. I'm not even a market partner. I feel like I've been brainwashed. So I don't know if you've seen that documentary about Nexium. That was his name, Keith Rainier. So I don't know if I'm saying his name right. And I'm not doing that as a purposeful slight. Like I just want to make sure I'm saying it accurately. But people like that are like, well, I'm just in it for the product. I'm not doing it full time. I'm just doing it for fun. We all said that. I said that for 5 years, you know. But people even on the periphery are still affected by the cult. They're still in the commercial cult. So it really doesn't matter if you're branded or not. Like you're in that structure. And I know my one VIP, like, you know, she canceled, you know, she's out of Monat as well. It's like she couldn't run fast enough as well. And she just a customer. So cult behavior is predictable. So this is again just kind of going back, if you choose to speak out, even if you really don't choose to speak out, or you just have like friends that are still in it and you see their nauseating, obnoxious posts on social media, it's 2022 and you say you want shampoo but no MLMs. Or you're going to support a CEO of Amazon and you're not going to support the poor mom that's trying to feed her kids. It's like that you start seeing through these things. You're just like, oh my God, not again. Like it doesn't make any sense. The CEO of your company is a CEO. It's just not the people that work at Target or at Amazon. They have families to feed to. We know this, right? But you're going to start seeing it and it's going to really bug you. And what I've done is on Facebook, I'm still on Facebook. That's going to be like not very much longer, but I've just unfollowed a lot of people. Like I'm still friends with them because I kind of want them to somehow be connected to maybe plant the seed of learning how to critically think at some point. Because when they start, it's going to come down like, it's going to squash them, you know, because I have a lot of friends that are deep in. So this is some of the behavior that I've experienced. I did even like a pretend little flow chart because it is this predictable. The first thing they will say to you is, I'm so sorry you had a bad experience. And it will be quickly followed up as, but that hasn't been my experience. If you respond at all to that, but saying no, you will most likely get attacked right away. They'll say, well, my company is different. I don't have to do this. They'll make this distinction that how you must have done something wrong. So it's, I'm so sorry you had a bad experience. That hasn't been my experience. You can't go to a restaurant and have a bad dinner and say all restaurants are bad. It is the exact same conversation. And once you see it a few times, you're just like, I was like this. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it is that predictable. So it's sad because, you know, that awareness, I used to do that too. And it's sad to see people being manipulated and controlled like that, but it's really easy to deal with it. I found it's like taken the personal, like feeling like personally attacked out of it because I'm like, oh, this is just, they all say this. This is just what they do. This is just another response. And it's not about, for me, it's not about like convincing anybody, but it's about setting boundaries. And I'm like planting the seed with the people who are ready to hear. And that's how I'm approaching my content. I know that interview I did with Danielle Bolster from Huns to Humans, she had said she's making content for people who are already out of MLMs. And I was like, that's cool. So it's, you know, whatever works for you. But you can't reach people. Somebody else, I was reading this on Anti-MLM Reddit. You can't reach people with logic when logic didn't get them in. So then, you know, you might hear as well, you can't say that I've gone to 6 companies until I found my one company. They don't even realize how that sounds. It's just proving, you know what, it's just proving the whole point. And then it will go to, you're a hater. You're shaming women. How horrible of you to leave and to speak out and criticize behavior and this facade of a business model. You are a hater. And it always goes to that. They're still in, and hopefully they'll get out, but you have to protect yourself. You have to protect your mental health. And so just keep in mind, cult behavior is predictable. It's your boundaries are yours to set, not somebody else's. They don't get to decide. And the anti-MLM community is here for you. Got it. You can send a message, like go onto Instagram. There's tons and tons of people out there. Okay, this is like getting into the darkness aftermath. This isn't positive. This isn't, now it's like learning to know that all of the emotions that you experience are valid. And it's not about, well, you can dwell, but then you got to get right back up there and you've got to be happy because you got to attract the right people to you because your vibe attracts your tribe. You know, then you might have like the alpha bro boss where it's like, you want to be this? You can't be simping. You know, it's just all this bullshit. Emotions are valid, whether it is not about spending less time in anger and sadness and whatever negativity is and spending more time here. That's all bullshit. It's all a lie. It's all meant to freaking control you and manipulate your behavior. And think of things, I'm doing things wrong. Oh, it's because my mindset. Oh, it's because I'm in a scarcity mindset. It's because I've got a limiting belief. So that's why it's like recommended to get a therapist. Get like, you know, you have been in a commercial cult. And your thinking has been changed. You have been saying these same platitudes that we all say and believing them full on in your heart, deep. It is real. You might have the guilt of having brought people in. Can be customers and also distributors. Also, just like reaching out to people. I sent out, at my peak, I was sending out 200 cold messages a day. I was that person. There was somebody, it was like last week, somebody had responded back to me and I'm like, oh my, I just didn't respond. I'm like, oh my God. It was like to some guy named Richard, I think. And I had said, hey, Jessica. So I'd done a copy and paste and it was like to the wrong name. It was like, hey, Jessica, I see that you're in Tucson, Arizona. I know we don't know each other, but I'm looking to expand my business there. Would you be open to taking a look at a short video? If not, no big deal. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, 200. Hey, Roberta Blevins is in the house. Thank you so much for being on here. So thank you. It was actually because of watching you on LulaRich that I also had the awareness that I was in a cult. And then yours was the podcast I started listening to, and it was hearing people's stories. You know what we're taught, like stories sell? Hearing people's stories. I found all these details from all these different companies that were exactly like my experience. And I thought, oh my gosh. And it is because of you, you helped me get out. And also has helped me speak out as well and continue to speak out. So thank you. So please, if you want to follow some really good content as well, go check out Roberta Blevins here. And you can see her handle. She makes awesome content, has a really good podcast too. That's what helped me. I wasn't even a really big podcast listener, but hearing people's stories, like, and the way they said the phrases that we all say really, really helped me. So there's no positive, negative feelings. Feelings are feelings, anger, sad, happiness. We're like so quick to like label things, especially in network marketing. And this is another thing too. There's like a lot to unpack, like things, we are so busy and occupied doing daily method of operation. Like, yeah, somebody had said like 200 a day, 200 a day plus for 3.5 years straight. I did at least one live video straight on Christmas, on Easter, every day. When there was a death in the family, I did a live video every day, 3.5 years straight. And at least one, it was on Facebook. And I started to go, there was like towards the end, I did about 7 months, I did 4 live videos a day, all different content. One on my business page, one on my personal Facebook, one on Instagram, and then one on TikTok. And that didn't count the team calls and all this stuff I did. I did all those things. And I'll tell you, coaches now will say, well, it's because you just did it to prove me wrong. That's what they will say to you. Even if you do all of the things, there's nothing else that I could have possibly done. But that's what they'll come back. They'll come back up with some weak excuse instead of addressing the facts. So the skills that you've learned, which is like, you know, coming into this, you don't have to have gone that excessively. You don't have to have sent all these messages. But those skills that you learned, you can apply now to help you heal and just like leave network marketing. And if you do try to speak out as well, we're really good at personal development. We're really good at, like, you know, what we think, getting outside of our comfort zones. I question everything now. I think that whole comfort zone thing is complete bullshit as well. I think that it's disguised and renamed to squash your intuition. And it's your intuition and your critical thinking that is saying, don't do this. And it's like, well, who pays the bills? They don't pay your bills. Why do you care what people say? You think you want to quit right now? You've been in it for 2 years. Well, how hard have you worked? You know my girl Sally here? She tried 17 different network marketing companies. And it was her 17th that she is now a millionaire. Do you think she's happy that she kept going? They can be so convincing. You know, and we're so on social media all the time anyway. You just like drink up the information. It's like, yeah, that sounds right. You know, it takes, as soon as you like take that step back, it's like, oh, this is a lie. So knowing how to like get out of your comfort zone still, doing things that make you uncomfortable, where you're like, why is there so much pushback where, you know, we don't want to send out all these cold messages because we are harassing people. And they're like, no, you have to get over that. It's like squashing from the beginning. You have to do things you don't want to do because that's how you're a success. It's like, no, you need to listen to your instincts and your intuition, and you need to bloom like a flower instead of like pushing it down and doing what somebody tells you to do. So like leading into this is you can use those skills, and like what I said to a friend of mine is walk right into that shame and just own it. And what's beautiful about that is the multi-level marketing industry makes it that you'd want to avoid doing that. But when you do it, it completely disappears. And I feel horrible that this happened to me. Everybody's accepting. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we know. Oh, thank goodness you're out. Congratulations. We're so happy to have you back. The horrible things that I thought was going to happen from them has happened from the people that I was with. And it was happening when I was in it too. And then it's just even more pronounced when I left. And then learning about toxic positivity. That's a big one. Just learning that it's okay to have feelings, it's okay to be human, and it's okay not to, you know, have to do a gratitude journal, and you have to write your affirmations, and it's all of these things start to like unravel in your mind, and you realize it's like, who the hell am I? And what do I even like to do? Rediscovering yourself again. There's something about your cult identity and your identity. I'm going to be rereading, Steven Hassan's books again. I want to say, like, when I was reading both Ponzi-nomics and also Combating Cult Mind Control, Steven Hassan also has another book called Freedom of Mind, and that one's really helpful. But particularly Combating Cult Mind Control and also Ponzi-nomics, I had to set them down at times because I was physically sick. Like, just my guts, I'm like, I'm going to puke. It was so gross learning how deep it had run in me. I'm making connections, and I'm seeing how deep it goes globally. I'm like, have we wandered into an alternate reality? Like, this is ridiculous. Just the story, the history of how it actually happened. You'd hear these like little snippets of people like Bob Heilig, coach, who's really good at mansplaining how it is to shame women. I don't think that's a can of worms he wants to open up, but we'll see. We'll see where that conversation goes. Talking about how you need to, you're either in or you're out. You're either with us or you're a hater and you shame women. Learning how it's all based on deception, and that so many people just like buy into it. It's like we have this psychological blind spot. It's just friggin' weird. And I felt sick as I was reading those books. I had to set it down and like take a break. I'd like go for a walk. I'm like, just feel like I don't even know what's happening here. I need help. And that's why I'm speaking out, just to let you know that you're not alone. Be kind and gentle on yourself. Cry, forgive yourself, know you're not alone. And if you can, get an MLM exit buddy. And I've been fortunate to have conversations with people that are, and it's happened afterwards. It's been like about, I guess maybe 3 months or something after I left. But it's really been helping me to just be sharing. It's like, oh no, remember when we had this happen, and we're like in different companies, but we've had similar experiences. And it's so healing. And the ability to laugh at ourselves. It's like shame flies away in the face of humor. So I hope that helps you out. And I'm going to go through some of your comments. I'm going to go through, if you have a question, I'll try to answer it for you. Just last two things, I guess, just to reemphasize again, is that however you choose to leave or exit, whatever it looks like for you is totally okay. There is no judgment. It's whatever it looks like for you is totally okay. The anti-MLM community is here for you. You know, reach out, send a message to a creator. You know, we know what it's like. We know what it's like to be like terrified and think like, oh my gosh, what have I done something wrong? I don't know what to say. Am I being negative? Like, we know what it's like. We know what it's like to try to like ask a question and then to get mocked and to have content made about us and to not get real answers and then to get ostracized and to get ice and to lose friendship. So, you know, you're not alone. And know that cult behavior is predictable. Once you see it, it becomes more safe. And then for me anyway, it's been I'm able to have that empathy and compassion. I'm still new. You know, I'm only 4 months out of this stuff, but I can kind of I feel a lot stronger about being more I don't know even know if you can understand what I'm saying, but there you go. So I'm going to read this stuff. Detroit does. I'm glad we can see the lost suffer. This is Blessed by Jesus, also my new, and also today I have a special deal just for you, just for being on this live. I'm opening up my new multi-level marketing company and I am selling high altitude potatoes. They are blessed by Jesus. I prayed so hard and I was like, it was on my heart and God led me to this opportunity and I'd like to share this opportunity with you. And she's like, you can't miss this $700 training though. Oh, I know, right? Charlene says, this is an amazing hour's worth of info. Oh, good. Thank you, Charlene. Spoonstop says, you can sit with us. Yes, thank you, Spoonstop. We've got some amazing anti-MLM creators right now. You could even just scroll through, tap them and just follow them. You know, you can always unfollow people too. Tap and add favorites. A lot of these people, a lot of these creators are on Instagram as well. There's a big presence on Instagram. I'm GenX. I'm on TikTok. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Marley says, what is MLM? It is multi-level marketing. Angie says, I called someone out without naming her for being a garbage human and was threatened by the girl boss. Yeah, it always goes that way. And the behavior is predictable. People don't like to hear it. And it's this weird, like the virulence or whatever, and the heat with which the responses come. If you were like in any other job, which multi-level marketers and network marketing coaches in particular love to make examples of the corporate world. And they will, at one and the same time, they're contradicting themselves, saying, well, your business is like a pyramid scheme. It's like, well, are you saying that you are a pyramid scheme then? Well, it's like if you're a baker, you have to purchase all this bread. If you're a pizza maker, you have to like have a brick and mortar store and you have to pay employees. You have to get the dough, you have to like do all this stuff. It's like that has nothing to do with what you're talking about. 97% fail. They do. Octavia, awful diet, $500 a month. Mindset Mama says, how do I join your potato company? You know, send me a DM. I'll DM you. I'll DM you the details. So yeah, Lori says, Optavia, is that how you say it? It's like always these companies, you don't even know how to say their names. It's like Mon8. Diet, $500 a month. And it's so screwed up. I have like this unreasonable hatred for Modair. I cannot stand Modair and that collagen stuff on a spoon because it's just that body shaming. And it's like this false blasting of fat. Nothing blasts fat. And I just hate how they capitalize on that. But that Optavia, $500 a month. And it's just severe caloric restriction. And you're like discouraged from like eating actual food and exercising from the beginning, if that's what I've kind of learned about it. And just buying stuff, buying powders, buying other things from this company, and losing weight, getting healthy weight, whatever, achieving your health goals. Join me on my health journey. You don't need to be paying $500 a month for that. There are so many resources out there for free, put out by content creators that are not even they're not even anti-MLM. They're just like, you could be doing this on your own and in a safe community where you're not screwing around with your health and then developing eating disorders and feeling bad about your body. It's like $500 a month for that. Yeah. Katie says, hi, Julie. MLM Exit says, FTC states that most people don't make money or lose money in MLM. So the whole point of this video, and thank you, MLM Exit, is that if this is part of FTC comment palooza right now. So if you've ever had any kind of experience, or you just have like an opinion, you just want to put a comment down, just a sentence, if you go to MLMchange.org, and you can click like your language, and then it will take you to the FTC website and you can leave a comment. Now you can craft a comment that's like it asks you different questions. You don't have to do that option. You can like click through that link and go right to the FTC and just write 3 sentences if you want. It doesn't have to be super detailed. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know when I do this kind of thing, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go and I gotta write something down. If you give a shit about this stuff, it's important. Every comment does help. So that's what's going on today with FTC Comment Palooza and all these different anti-MLM creators across YouTube. You know, I'm here on TikTok, Instagram also. So please check out some of them. I'm going to be wrapping up in about 4 minutes. So then it'll be like the next creator's turn. So for 24 hours, every hour, there's going to be another anti-MLM creator that is going to be sharing different information with you. This is a topic that I wanted to share with you. And Rez says, I've learned so much from you. Your videos are amazing and uplifting. Thank you. Kelly says, in 12 years, out 5. Spent years from recovering from anxiety and depression from the pressure. Congratulations on getting out. And if you're seeing this, and maybe you're in a multi-level marketing company and you're kind of hearing this information, if you can see like this comment, in 12 years, out 5, and has spent years recovering from anxiety and depression. These things are no joke. They are commercial cults. It is undue influence. If you're even just a customer or you're even just in it for the discount, why do you feel the need to like actively say, oh, but I like this product so much? The behavior doesn't happen like this when you buy a drugstore product. Nobody is frothing at the mouth and making content about buying regular stuff. Nobody posts about their Starbucks drink anyway. This is another weird, this MLM coaching where they're like, well, you already post about your Starbucks drink every day. Why not make money? Because not every relationship needs to be transactional. There's the thing called friendship, and then there's the thing that is network marketing or multi-level marketing, where every single person you encounter is a potential transaction, and you are always on the go because you must make money from them. And trying to recover from that, it fucks you up, you know? Mindset Mom says, thanks for speaking up about your experience. I'm glad you're out now. Thank you. And you saw me at my height too. Oh God. I don't even know how some of my friends stuck with me in my obnoxiousness. I'm gonna change this industry. I was like writing down the vision, casting the vision. Hours I spent writing in this gratitude journal. Now I know there might be benefit to it now, but I'm so triggered now. I'm like, I saw this company, they actually sold a grievance journal. I was like, I could get on board with that. But just writing down this vision of what would happen and all the millions of people I would impact. Oh, you're not alone. Katie says, I signed up to Melaleuca. God, I can't believe the high pressure sales pitch I did. Hey, that's cool. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I can't even believe the cringe stuff I did. If you're on and I did send you a message at some point on Facebook, I'm sorry. You know, I'm making up for it now. I'm sorry I bugged you. Angie says, I was coached to get in DMs, manufacture a friendship, and bam, ask them to check out products. Yep, exactly. And there's like different ways to be doing that as well. It's like they have ask them about their family form, isn't it? Family, occupation, relationships, and whatever. Oh, they just break it right. And it sounds so good. Oh, this is a really good way that I could be meeting people. But it's every single thing that you do, not only on social media, but in life is, it's all meant to recruit or to get a customer. And no other business operates that way. Your friend that has a brick and mortar store doesn't behave that way, isn't trying to guilt and shame people saying, oh, everybody wants to buy soap these days, but nobody's buying from my store. Only multi-level marketing. And the thing is that when you're out, we all see, everybody sees through it. We think we're so sneaky, but we're not. Everybody knows. And Jack says they're all Amway. They just changed it, and it's true. And big shout out to the best boomer on TikTok right now. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much. Kathy says you're doing a great self-cleanse. Keep it up. Thank you. And Noam says your life becomes MLM. There's nothing else. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. You could have been doing anything else right now, and my time slot is up. So I want to respect the other, and I was with Mon 8. And I was also with a network marketing coaching group called Rank Makers. Both of them are commercial cults. So please go check out the other anti-MLM creators that are on YouTube and like for the next 24 hours. And if you haven't yet, get on to mlmchange.org and just put a comment in. I know it's a pain in the ass, but they make these things a pain in the ass for a reason. Like the FTC is just as crooked as all get out. They've got this revolving door of like the chairperson is then like working for Herbalife, and then this guy is like, oh, I worked with the FTC for 3 years, and then they get hired on. Like they make it a pain in the ass. It's like you're clicking all these buttons just to leave a comment. But please, this is what we're doing this. We just need to this is grassroots activism. We're trying to like help each other out, help people out that are trying to leave, starting to like disentangle themselves from these commercial cults. And your voice matters. Even just one comment. It doesn't have to be a big thing. mlmchange.org. Thank you so much for watching. And I have to say I appreciate you, but I really struggle with that word because that word is triggering for me. But I certainly appreciate you. Bye.